Good morning and welcome to my studio. I'm Jessie and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 99, Herding and Penning. As always, I'm going to start out with my thank you list. I have my cheat sheet right here and I have so many people to thank. Special thank you goes out, as always, to my subscribers, both new and ongoing. You guys make this what it is, and your feedback and your suggestions are everything. I appreciate everyone and I do try to respond to everybody. What you see here is really all about you. Tell me what you'd like to see and I'll do everything I can to incorporate it. Hello goes out to David. Thank you for adding me to your life. Special love and thanks go out to Toonie, Brian, Tara, Diane, Allison, Barbara, Faye, Julie, Janelle, Erica, Adriana, Wayne, Sonia, Patricia, Lisa Lette, Cappy, Kath, Jorge, Chris, Benty, Christy, Neetsy, Charlotte, Roseanne, Linda, Marie, Eve, David, Donna, Betty Ann, Scott and John, Jessica, Kate, Janet and Terry, Monica, Bex, Carolyn, Nancy, and Rachel. Much love goes out to my Zoom family. I hope to touch base with you guys soon. Robert, Juanita, Paula, Brian, Jen, Elizabeth, Nicole M., Katie, Shirley, Roz, and Georgianne. A warm hello and thank you go out to all my patrons. You make this possible. Life. Let's start with life. I haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks. It's been busy and I'm sorry that I missed last week. My intention had been to podcast. I had so much going on and sometimes, even though none of it is tangible, it becomes overwhelming and you have to just stop and herd everything into its proper pens and compartmentalize items in your life and focus on things and get them out of the way so that they're no longer taking up mental space and time. One such thing, of course, was my taxes. As a small business owner, herding, gathering, collecting all that information can be a challenge. I get better at it every year, but I do my own taxes. I do use a software and I do my own taxes. I don't have a service. And I've always done them, so I don't mind them. There's this geeky little math place inside me that likes doing them. I don't like paying them. Don't get me wrong. But I enjoy the math behind it and seeing how things have changed and evolved and really delving into what my rights are. So I did that last weekend because all of a sudden it became this overpowering, all-encompassing deadline that was starting to really crunch in on me. And because I wasn't sure if I had everything pulled together or not, I needed to focus and do that. And it really went incredibly smoothly. I make a habit of always doing them on one weekend but not submitting them, and then on the next weekend I go back and I review all my entries to make sure I haven't made any mistakes, I haven't missed anything, I haven't double deducted anything, and then I submit it. Clean head does better work, not the stressed erratic, oh my god. That I don't like the pressure of it. And I'm not sure why. It's like Christmas, but it's like Christmas is, what do you call that when it's the opposite? I'm drawing an utter blank. Nemesis. It's like the antithesis of Christmas. Instead of everything good, it's everything bad. And it comes at the same time every year, but somehow we let it sneak up on us. Anywho, so last weekend I dedicated entirely too many hours to that, and I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm really excited that it's done, it's off my plate. Also, y'all were waiting, I left you kind of hanging for news about my MRI and where I was at with my knee. I got my results back from my doctor and they were very different than what we had expected. We had been talking about meniscal tears, possible, severe strain, sprain, that sort of thing. We had pretty well ruled out ligaments. What we didn't expect was a fracture. I have a broken knee. I have what they refer to as a non-displaced fracture of the tibial plateau. What does that mean? So at the very top of my tibia, which is my leg bone, my lower leg bone, there is a flat spot on your bones, and I have a chip, a compression fracture slice on the top that is broken. Non-displaced means it hasn't moved. It's right where it was. It's broken in place. It's not shifting. It's not moving. There's no chips. There's nothing there, but it's tender. And walking on it continues to basically slowly remind it of its injury. It's because it's a compression fracture. It's really about bearing weight on it irritates it. There's water on the knee. There is a, I'm trying to remember the term, marrow edema. Basically, the bone marrow is bruised and there's water in there as well, which causes inflammation, which causes pressure, which causes pain. So, what we're doing to treat is I'm supposed to be not so weight bearing. I'm using a cane. Nothing makes you feel older than having to use a cane. I use my cane. I've been faithful with it. Healing this is important to me, and I do continue to experience an ache. It's a broken bone. It aches. Especially if I have to do a lot of walking or if I'm walking on hard surfaces. So like the grocery store, hate that place right now, and I love to eat. I love food. I love the grocery store. Walking around in there is a trick, and walking around in there and getting the plastic bag and getting your produce and putting it in there while you're holding a cane. I have so much more respect for people with canes and crutches. I would use one of those little hover around things if it wasn't going to mortify my husband. I don't care. I could care less. You do what you need to do and be proud that you survived and that you're alive. And if you need extra devices, prostheses, crutches, canes, you're no different. You're no less for these things. And you stiff upper lip. You march on. I'm here and I'm proud to be here and I'm continuing on. And it's been a gift. It honestly has. And using the cane to walk in and out of work, which is a little bit of a haul from the parking lot, has helped. I am not using it in my working office just because it's short steps. By the time I've gained the cane back from its spot behind me, to take 4 steps to the printer, to take 4 steps back with my hands full and the opportunity to trip and knock myself down, I'm better without it, honestly. So in my working environment, I'm not using it, but whenever I have to walk any kind of a distance, I'm using it. In the grocery store, of course, I'm using it. In my home, I'm spending a lot more time camped on my sofa with my knee up, allowing that fluid to drain, allowing myself time to heal where I'm not pounding on it, I'm not walking on it. I am doing some isometric yoga type workout to keep strength in the muscle. I'm making sure that I am articulating my knee properly when I'm walking. For the most part, you would see me walking, you wouldn't think anything was wrong. And really, it's not that big a deal. If I had to have an injury, this is really one of the best injuries to have. So, we have 4 more weeks and I follow up with the doctor, I think. I think that's where we're at. We're in a good place. What else has been going on? General life nonsense. One of my activities this week was going through the... do you have dogs? I have dogs, and we buy toys for the dog. We are just as amused by the dog toys as they are, I think. And one of the dogs, the puppy, Lily, she's doing very well. She really has integrated beautifully in our household. Lily is a little bit of a destructor, and she likes to tear through toys. Every once in a while you come into a massacre of fluff all over the floor, and there's a squeaker out being chewed like a piece of bubble gum, and there's the discarded toy somewhere shredded. We have what I refer to as triage, which is where we rescue toys that are only moderately injured and we set them aside for surgery later. And I this week sat down and I took some time to stitch up some of the surgical waiting room And every once in a while, I will merge toys. If this one has good parts still and that one has good parts still, but neither of them could be a whole, sometimes they join and they become kind of a Franken toy. And I have a great sense of humor about that. We have a number of toys that are mashups, if you will. They don't care. They love them. I sew them back up with button thread so they're even more stable. They have better seams than they ever did. And they love them still and they play with them. And we're just as amused whether Gumby now has a slice of pizza attached to him or the chicken has a raccoon tail. We don't care. We think it's hysterical. We have a good time. So I spent some time this week after work Frankensteining some toys back together and repairing them so that the kids have their toys. That's about it for life. Outside of how much of my life I dedicate to what I do here, and I've had some time this week to really focus, especially with taxes. You look at your life a little bit differently and go, is this a win? Is this a lose? Is this a break even? And my past year was a win, and I feel really good about that. And I am so grateful to you. You guys make this happen. You make my business flourish. You make me want to do this. And I love what I do so much. I really have been very stressed and very tired. It's been a rough year. How sick was I? How injured have I been? I'm marching forward. I'm doing this. I'm holding my head high, but it's been a challenge. And with that challenge has come some burnout at my job. A little bit of burnout here with this. Fatigue does that. It makes you think weird. I went through a bout of depression. You guys all got to see that horror show. And so I've done some reevaluating to really look at what am I doing? What do I love? I want to put my energy where I love things. That's important to me. And so I've had a lot of opportunity to really make some good decisions. And I have determined I love this and I'm going to do more of it, as much more of it as I can do of it. To that end, there's going to be more designing and more trunk shows and more yarn. And now that my energy is back and I'm getting to a point where I can really be on my feet again, there's going to be more production, and I'm excited. I'm very excited about that. So, what have I been knitting? Let's actually talk about why we're here, which is our love of yarn and knitting and all things fibery and fun. And caffeine. I have been knitting on my super secret sock project. It's not that secret. Well, it's undercover. It's sort of secret. Okay, it's not that secret, but he doesn't know. He knows, but he doesn't know. I'm making socks for my husband, John, and I have one totally done. Don't they look ridiculous? This great big foot and this tiny skinny ankle. This is because it's ribbing. It's actually quite large. But I used his formula again, and I'm making him a pair of socks. And I have a sock and almost a half done. I'm working on the heel flap now on the second one. These are a birthday gift, and they just give him a spare pair for when he goes camping. He likes to sleep in socks, and sometimes he needs them. It gets cold out there, and to finally have a formula that fits him and fits him well is exciting. He has seen me knitting these in the car in the morning. I have been knitting them on my lunch break at work. I do have a deadline. His birthday's in late April, so I'm trying to focus on this. And things just keep getting sidetracked. So I'm one of those people that I try to get my work done as soon as it's assigned. Does that make sense? Rather than waiting for the deadline. In school, as soon as they assign me something, even at work, as soon as I'm assigned something, I dive into it and I try to get it done immediately rather than waiting for when it's due. And so we're not waiting until the end of April to get this done. We're trying to knock this out early. And I'm at that point in the project where I'm finally, I can see the end. I can see the end. I've got maybe 5 hours left on this. So I'm fantasizing as I'm knitting about washing them and blocking them and having them all nice to present to him. And that's such a good feeling when you prepare to give something to somebody, when you're prepping the gift, you're building the presentation. I love that. I love presenting things to people. So this is going along very nicely. I'm very happy with it. It is a lot of ribbing. He's got real skinny little ankles, and he likes a close fit, so I'm having to rib. Knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two for inches. Oh, when, you know, and I thought about that, somebody else had mentioned to me, it's a lot of ribbing. Really, 7 inches of ribbing on a sock that's only 64 inches, when you think about that in terms of the bottom of a sweater that could be 42 inches around for 3 inches, that's, sock is nothing. Yeah, okay, there's 2 of them, but still, it's not as bad as the ribbing on the bottom of a sweater. I'll take it. It's lovely. What else have I been knitting? Not a lot. Don't get excited. Like I said, between the taxes and the little bit of knitting, with doctor appointments, I shorten my lunches to make up my time off at work. There's like an exchange. If you take 2 hours at work to go to the dentist, which I also had to do, I'm having a crown. I'm getting crowned. I'm having a coronation. See how I try to make that wonderful? It's not. It's expensive and painful and horrible. But with that, I haven't had a lot of knitting time. I did get a couple squares of my blanket done, and I'm excited about that. I've almost finished another column, so I'm almost back to a square. I got done. Let's see if I can hold it up. Haha. So I showed you guys the teal square. I put in this multicolored square, and then I put in this blue square, and here I am up on a corner. And that will give me, let's see, how many squares are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'll be 13 by 16. And no, I'm not going to do the math on that. My math is bad. I could try and do that in my head. I guess it's 100, 118? It's got to be more than that. I must be higher than that. I don't remember. My math is bad. So anyway, I'm making great progress on this. Slow, but it's coming, and I'm focusing on it a little bit more, and I love it so much. I do a lot more of knitting on this, I think, in the summer when I sit outside in the evening with my husband, because I can drape it over my legs. I get chilly really easy, and I drape it over my legs, and I sit there sometimes with the headlamp on. I am such a nerd. The more I hear myself talk, the more I think, what a geek. I have a little citronella candle burning to try and dissuade the bugs, and I have my headlamp on, and I usually have a plastic glass of wine that is tucked somewhere that the dogs can't kick it over or try to drink out of it, and I work on my blanket in the dark in our backyard in the summer, and I hope to get a lot more progress done on this. It's been years, and I really want to get to the point where I'm just plain enjoying it rather than enjoying working on it. It's the same thing, isn't it? I am enjoying it as I'm working on it. That's all the knitting I've done, really. I've had to do a lot of, like I said, compartmentalizing and focusing and applying attention to other things, and my knitting suffered as a result. What have I been designing? Ha ha. You are all aware of Porch Light. That is out to my test knitters, and they are making amazing progress. Some people have had a couple setbacks. Life has jumped up and bitten them. But their experiences have given me a lot of insight as to edits I need to make to the pattern, ways that I can present things a little bit better. One of the things that I'll be changing is I'll be adding a note to the pattern that really talks more about the structure, so that as you're working the rows, you can read your knitting a little bit better. For example, this particular pattern, as you can see, has a square shape to it, which is a little bit different, and it has a square neck hole to it. It's ultimately 3/4 of a square. When you're knitting it and you're working the repeat from the instructions, the repeat talks about action happening in a wedge, across a wedge, and then there's the repeat for the next wedge and the next wedge. And when you're working through it, it's important to understand that there is an edge, a wedge, a spine, there's increases here, then a wedge, then another spine of increases, then a wedge, and an edge. That's a mouthful. But understanding the fundamental structure of it, so that when you're reading through the written stitches, it makes sense, it clicks, and you can see how to read it and where am I? Reading your knitting is really about locating where am I in the pattern, where am I in the project, and matching those up so that you don't get lost in the written stitches. So I'm going to add a notation that explains the structure of it a little bit better, and I hope that that eases some of the anxiety people have had about where am I, and cuts down on some of the confusion about the repeats. If you have suggestions, I want to hear them. Every bit of a test knitter's experience is useful information to the designer. It helps us make our projects more fun, more enjoyable, more accomplishable to everyone, and that's important. We want everyone to enjoy it. We don't want you to get a quarter of an inch into it and be like, I'm done with this mess. We want you to go, oh, isn't this pretty? Look at it unfold. I'm going to love this, and have that dream of either packaging it up to give to somebody or the dream of wearing it and enjoying it. So everything's valuable, guys. Thank you so much for the feedback and the information that you've given me. Thank you for volunteering to do this, and I really want everyone to enjoy that project. We are looking for a May 1st launch date on that, so if you're looking at that pattern and going, I want that, it's coming, it's coming. So is... It's on the back burner right now because I've got to focus on some other things, but very much in the back of my mind is its big sister. And this is a 1 skein project. There is a 2 or a 3 skein version coming. It's ever since I got this off the needles, I have had this itch to expand on this design base. I love it. I'm very excited about it. It's a matter of me setting aside enough time to cast it on and to do the additional math to expand on this design and make it its big sister. But it's coming. It's coming. Things to dream of. What have I been dying? I have been dying for my trunk show that's coming up in May. There's a lot of preparation that needs to go into that. The trunk show, I'm so excited about it. I have not had a spring trunk show yet. This is going to be great fun. And as always, I love being in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I go to Unwound up there, and the owners, the staff, the patrons, the people that I encounter, the knitters that I meet there have been nothing shy of stellar. I love you people. It's a second home. I can't rave enough about how much I love it there, and the connections that I've made have been so enriching, so enjoyable. Please come join me and the Unwound family. We would love to have you there. It's always fun. The plan currently, I have my schedule. I will be there from May 23rd to May 26th. That means I'll be there from Thursday through Sunday. Thursday, we're going to have a cast-on party for the design that I've been about. Those of you who are patrons, you've seen this. You got all the sneak peeks on this. Those of you who are not, here's your sneak peek now. This pattern is going to launch at Unwound, and it is going to launch concurrently with a line of DK minis that I have done, where you get to knit this pattern with an assortment of DK minis in colors of your choice. I'm so excited. I'm gonna reach and grab. I love this. This has been in progress for a long time, and I'm excited to talk about it publicly right now. The last time I was up at Unwound, I met an absolutely wonderfully generous, clever, brilliant, friendly, giving. She's such a beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. And Keico, if you're out there, I hope that you see this. She came into the shop and she brought with her oh Lord, she must have had 50 hats with her that she had knit that she was donating to charity. And she brought them in and she laid them all out on the table, and I got to rummage through them. And there were color combinations in there that inspired me. And there were stitch in there that inspired me. And she had basically just improvised a bunch of hats. And in amongst those hats was one that had a, I think they call it a lice stitch, which, forgive me, the word lice, stitch, and hat should never be together. But it is. She had a hat that had a lice stitch in it. And it just inspired me. And so in Keico's honor, I have designed Keico the hat. And Keico the hat uses this lice stitch in a myriad of colors. And it is just fun. It is quick. It is easy. It is a wonderful jumping off point for anybody who wants to try color work. It is a great opportunity to intermingle and play with colors. It is a fabulous opportunity to use minis. This is knit up using DK minis, and I have a variety of colors. If you're looking at this and you're like, that's really pretty, but I would never wear those colors, but wait, there's more. I have knit this and designed colors that make millions of combinations. There are actually 13 different colors that are all set up to go with each other no matter how you combine them and use them in the pattern. And I have had so much fun knitting these, doing the math on them, getting this to work out. I'm trying to show you every aspect of this, and it uses up really just 5 minis. I am super happy with this. Pop this on. We're going to have a knit along. We're going to have the cast on party Thursday at the shop, and we're going to have great fun with this. And everybody's going to be able to select whatever color combination they want. All of the colors will be on hand. Can you tell? I'm very excited about this. So Keico is coming. Like I said, the launch will be at Unwound. After the trunk show, it will be available through my Ravelry shop, but right now this is where we're at. And eventually the minis will be available through my Etsy shop, but the initial launch is going to be up at Unwound. Also at Unwound, on Friday, we're going to have a class after hours. Make sure you contact the shop. That link information will be in the credits and down below for you. We're going to have a class on pairing hand-dyed yarns with projects and looking at what the dye structure lends it to when it's knit, and how do you make the most of hand-dyed yarns in your projects. That's going to be great fun. It's going to be very hands-on. Come. We're going to have fun with that. Saturday, I'm going to be available all day in the shop. Come visit, come spend time with me. Sunday is my favorite day of my trunk shows. Unwound hosts a brunch. We all get to sit down. We all get to have a lovely breakfast, lunch, brunch. Beautiful coffee shop up there. We all enjoy quiche and omelets and muffin, whatever you want. Entirely up to you. Your breakfast is your choice. It's your selection. It's your bill. It's time spent together, off-site. I bring swag. And I have had, I've done a lot of secret work behind the scenes here, and I have great swag for you guys this time. I'm very excited to come up and give you these gifts as a thanks for all the support this year. As I'm sure if you follow me, you know, the Paperback Writer fundraiser was directly linked to somebody I know through Unwound, and the support that I got from you, from the local community up there, was amazing. And that bike is coming. I'm so excited for her. And she's looking at logos for that, and she's already sorting out books for that, and she's already running into people in public who are going, "You're going to come back to our park, right?" the community ties and the opportunity to go up there and in person thank people for their support means everything to me. Sunday after the brunch, we'll be back in the store during the business hours there. We're going to do a Q&A on site where you come in, sit down, talk to me about designing, talk to me about dyeing. Let me share what I know with you so that you can do what you love too. That networking, that sharing of ideas and thoughts, that picking my brain, it's a free resource. Come use it. And last year we did a giveaway in the shop where I had a great prize bag. It was one of my totes. It had yarn and stuff in it. We're going to do that again as well. So just for coming in, you're entered into the giveaway. Make sure you drop by. Again, that weekend is May 23rd through the 26th. It is the weekend immediately before Memorial Day. Pop in if you've got time. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to see you, and we'd love to have you involved. Speaking of giveaways, so this is episode 99. I never imagined that I would be on the cusp of 100 episodes of this. Never. And that has been surreal. It's been surreal. And my relationship with you, the time that I spend with you, the things that we talk about, the intimacies that we share, how this has developed and built and become such a huge part of my life. You are my knit group. You are the one time I hang out consistently with other knitters. And it's very important to me, and I love it. I really love it. So I'm excited that I've made it this far, and I have plans to go so much further. But I want to say thank you, and I want to host a giveaway for my 100th episode. I have a prize pack. I love it. If I were a stingy person, I would keep it, but I really want to make sure that this gets out into the world and somebody else has the opportunity to win this and enjoy this. So here's the deal. To enter to win my 100th episode giveaway, you're going to go to Instagram or you're going to email me. Some people don't have Instagram access, and I get that. So there's two places to enter, either via email or via Instagram. You are going to post a picture of any completed project using one of my patterns or one of my yarns. If you're on Instagram, so that I can find your entries, please use hashtag KUAD100. KUAD100, just like knit up and dye 100. This will help me find your entries on Instagram. If you're emailing me, obviously it'll be in my inbox. Please use that as the subject line so I can group. I get so much junk email you would not believe. Actually, it's usually sales emails from yarn vendors and places like webs. Help me find you. Use the hashtag as the subject line in the email you send me. Again, just a photo of any completed project using one of my patterns or one of my yarns. Feel free to share what the pattern was, what the yarn was in your post. I would love to see it. And sometimes I forget about colorways that I did very limited. And if I see that you people love them, I'm going to make them again. And somebody else out there may see it and be like, oh, what color is that? I want that. I do custom orders. Let them know what that color is. Let them know what that pattern is. I'm very excited about this. I have pulled together a really beautiful prize pack. I'm going to show you the meat of it. As always, I always add more stuff to it. This is open internationally. I need to make that point. I want the whole world to have opportunity to be part of this. The whole world has been a part of this, and I want to make sure that I honor everyone. Here's the prize pack. From Knitting with Attitude, I have this beautiful project bag. It just screams spring to me. I love it. It's got this beautiful blueberry fabric. It has these wonderful nostalgic seed pack print on it. It's beautiful. It's zippered. It has a nice pull tag, it has a lovely handle, and as a pull fob, it has a progress keeper there. Hopefully you can see that. I can't see because I'm blocking me. Inside, it has really gorgeous, lovely matching, coordinating fabric here. There is a nice big pocket and a nice big cavernous space here. I have three skeins of yarn as part of this prize pack, and they come from a variety of dyers. I do have yarn in here from me. This is on my Disco Monkey base. That means there's stellina in it. It is actually 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, silver stellina. This is my Electric Love. It is this beautiful electric magenta pink tonal yarn. I love this colorway. I love it on the sparkle base. It's fun. But I've coordinated it with other yarns from other dyers. From Southern Colonial Dye Works, I have her One Shot. Are these not beautiful together? Imagine what you could make. There are some cowls out there that use multiple skeins of yarn, and you can stack them and stripe them. I've coordinated for you folks. I've tried to make something really stunning. But wait, there's more. I told you there's 3. From Knitter Scarlet, over in the UK, I have her Wicked colorway on her Snuggly base. These are all fingering weight. They're all 4-ply weight if you're in the UK, and that's how you measure your stuff. They coordinate. If you want to do a 3-color cowl, here it is, guys. I've linked everything together. I've made beautiful selection for you. They're really going to be stunning together. I'm very excited about it, and they come in, notice, everything's pretty, everything's coordinated in a lovely project bag that all 3 skeins fit into. I will have other little goodies tucked in there. I always slip in other stuff. But I would be ecstatic to win this, and I hope you're excited about it too. These are all superwash products. Her Southern Colonial Dye Works, this is her Magnolia sock, 75-25 superwash merino nylon. Knitter Scarlet, this is, like I said, her Snuggly base, and this is superwash Pullworth. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And like I said, this is with the stellina in it for a little bit of extra bling. Do I sound excited enough? I've had coffee. Really, you're not hearing the coffee, you're hearing joy. I think this is beautiful and I'm excited. Please go over, use the hashtag or email me, get your entry in. I would love to announce the winner on my next episode next weekend. That is also a Patreon weekend, so I'll be doing all my drawing winners then for the Patreon drawing levels and announcing the winners of that and the winner of this. Make 100 my biggest episode. Let's make this an episode full of joy and excitement. I would love to just send that off to somebody who dreams of it, who wants it, who recognizes the beauty of that, who wants to celebrate 100 episodes with me. So get your entries in. Way back on the burner. See, I've been herding everything in and trying to line everything up, and I'm looking forward here, and I'm getting everything into the right pens. But way down the line, we are headed into April, and I know that is early yet, but we need to start thinking about our ornament exchange. I know it's crazy, but isn't it lovely to flip through patterns now rather than later? That's everything I have for you. My battery's starting to wear out. I need to sign off. I love you. I can't wait to see you next week. Please get your entries in. I want to make sure that you win that pack. Open worldwide. And yeah, that's everything. Have a great week, guys. Bye.